Hello, wrestling fans. This is Tony Hager with Takedown Wrestling, and we are joined by Gabe Dean, who's in the Nike hot seat. How are we doing today, Gabe?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. It's a beautiful day in Iowa today, and good day to talk to Gabe Dean, national champ, 2014 national champ, and a junior world bronze medalist, and just came home with a runner-up finish at the Pan Ams in Greco. Greco is a sport that we're trying to build up. USA Wrestling has come on board to with NCWA and doing the Go Greco initiative, and we want to talk with you today, Gabe, about how you got involved in Greco.
Well, actually, honestly, I just started wrestling Greco for the first time in my life about 3 weeks ago. Before about 2 weeks before I left for the trip, I just came off of the NCAA's, and Coach Cole was like, "Hey, Matt Lindland and company was wondering if you'd want to make the trip down to Chile and wrestle Greco for the team in the Pan Ams." And I was just like, looked at it as an opportunity, just like, hey, like that's fun, it'd be fun to go down there with a great group of guys, and wrestle. And so we started so I literally had nothing under my belt. I'd never touched Greco in my life. So
Wow.
started, we came into practice, and the first couple days were actually, pretty much all of it was pretty rough, just because I had no experience. But I had a lot of great coaches around me. My dad was a big Greco wrestler. We had a coach. Coach Dale came up from Virginia. He made a couple world teams. And then just a lot of help. Coach Cole was helping me out. So it was really good. And we did what we could in those 2 weeks. And then but I went down to Chile and just had a great time with the guys, and really enjoyed my experience. And it's definitely just made me a better wrestler in general, just more organized with hand fighting and everything. So I'm definitely going to continue to wrestle with it, and see how everything plays out.
Do you think that this is something that you are gonna pursue down the road, or are you thinking you're gonna be in freestyle?
Honestly, I didn't know. I really hadn't thought about it too much until the opportunity came from Coach Lindland. And but I had such a great time down in Chile with those guys, and they're just a bunch, like the Greco guys are really great guys. So, and they really took me under their wing and helped me a lot. So I I'm definitely, I can't really set in stone what I'm gonna end up doing going forward, but I'm definitely gonna continue to work on and try to really improve upon my Greco wrestling. And
This is
I'll make the call when the time comes.
Well, this has kind of been your story of how you got into wrestling and got into Greco. Now, I mean, you were a big football player, correct?
Yeah. This whole journey, it's been quite fun. Just new things pop up. And the reason why I'm in wrestling is a lot of it is because I was turned down in a very harsh and rude manner by Georgia Tech's football team. So I kind of, it's just been kind of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of journey. But I wouldn't want it any other way. It's been just fun and exciting, and I just been loving it. So.
Your dad was a two-time Big Ten champ, NCAA runner-up at Minnesota, and from my understanding, he didn't push wrestling onto you. Is that correct?
No, he was the kind of, he wanted to be a dad first. I think you see a lot of that today, where a lot of dads, try to live through their kids, and through the sport that they push their kids in. You see, and a lot of dads forget, like they're a dad. They're more than, and then they kind of get into coaching, and they like see themselves as more of a coach than a dad. So my dad, never wanted to make that mistake. So when I was born and as I grew up, he just let me do kind of what I wanted. And I loved football all the way until pretty much that experience happened. And then I liked wrestling too. I enjoyed wrestling, and I did that through high school, but and through my whole childhood. But I eventually got to the point where I made that decision myself, and my dad never wanted to make that decision for me. And now here I am today, just loving, the improvements and the areas that I need to get better in. And I love the sport because, and to be successful in the sport, you have to be self-motivated. And a lot of dads nowadays wear their kids out by pushing them too hard when they're young.
I think you can be a great advocate for exactly what you're talking about. Parents just pushing their kids way too hard in all sports. You know, there we see kids more and more being kind of a one sport athlete kid. I mean,
Yeah,
I talked to more wrestlers today that just say, "Well, I'm not going to go play baseball or play football or golf." I mean, they just do wrestling, which is great. But man, when I grew up, I learned a lot from football and tackling and
did you play
baseball.
football? Did
I
you play
played
football?
I played football until my freshman year, but I was believe this or not, I was a linebacker and I weighed 90 pounds. I
You were
was.
probably backer though because you knew how to double leg guys and take them down. So yeah, and you're exactly right. I mean, playing other sports is a good thing. I think a lot of people think like, hey, I got to make my son the seventh grade superstar right now. I got to make my son, the best when he's 5 years old. And that's when, and I think a lot of parents go wrong there because then by the time they've been pushed so hard, by the time they get to the end of their high school or even coming into college, that they don't see as much success because they're so worn out. So at least in my experience, and definitely like you said, I can be an advocate for it. No, I always tell people whenever they ask me to play, stick with football, stick with baseball, stick with these other sports because you learn a lot from them, you get a lot of great experiences from them, and it's always good to keep your options open by the time you decide to go where you go to college. So I completely agree with you.
Well, switching back to this Greco move and kind of the whole Greco movement and the freestyle team, USA is probably the toughest they've ever been. I mean, the depth at 74 kilograms, it's crazy that the amount of the team, okay, Jordan Burroughs, David Taylor, Andrew Howe, and you go to 65 kilograms, Brett Metcalf. I mean, we could just name multiple wrestlers that could probably be on a lot of national teams. And there's been a talk on Takedown Radio a couple weekends ago that how do we get those guys to dabble into Greco? What are your thoughts? What is hindering the wild, I guess the wide variety of wrestlers in general to try Greco?
I guess just the uncomfortableness of it. You can't attack legs, and it's hard. It's even though you can't attack legs, you're hand fighting for hard for 6 minutes straight, pretty much. So I just think the uncomfortable level of switching to Greco and the fear of trying a very unique and different thing really kind of scares probably a lot of it scared me at first. I was like, how am I going to be any good at this in 2 week span if I can't even touch a leg? But really it helps. If anything, it helps. I think a lot of freestyle guys, and including myself, should at least have a Greco day once a week, or have work with it a little bit, because it really does help your hand fighting, and makes you very comfortable in a lot of those upper body positions, and that you see a lot of freestyle guys get into, and it helps your combinations and everything. So I think um, a thing that could really maybe, and they probably already do. I don't know. I've never been out to Colorado Springs, but they probably. I think a thing that could really help is just even just practicing it, even if you don't want to do it, just having a day where you come in and you just wrestle Greco and work on a lot of different of those feels that you don't get a ton from freestyle, and the parterre also too.
Is that something that you guys, Coach Cole, has been working on with you guys, and maybe in the off season to get some like a Greco day or a freestyle day in the off season?
Well, he's been really and this year, we got a couple uh, really good Greco guys in the room. His son Will Cole is very good at Greco, and then Also, John J. Chavez is here. My dad has a pretty strong background in Greco. So like we have some Greco talent in here, and John J. Chavez made the junior world team last year in Greco, if you didn't know, and then Will Cole also won Fargo in Greco. So those we got those kind of guys, and those guys want to wrestle Greco. So we're trying to if you still want to wrestle freestyle, that's great, and we have a huge freestyle wrestling club, the Finger Lakes Wrestling Club here, which is really growing. But also, we're like, hey, if you also want to wrestle Greco, why would we not offer that here with some of the talent that we have here? So we're definitely moving in the direction to build a strong, a strong Greco training facility here, as well as continue to build our freestyle facility. And I think they're both really going to help each other, just like football helps wrestling, kind of deal.
So what's next for Cornell? You guys just seem to be kind of taking little baby steps and waiting to break onto that scene and get that national title. Is this something that wrestling fans, are you guys putting together a team, you think, here in the next couple years?
I mean, absolutely. We got a lot of talent coming in our recruiting class coming in this next year, and we got a lot of guys that are very motivated and working extremely hard this off season to get better. You start kind of setting. Our goal definitely at the end of the day is to win a team national title. But I think what we're trying to change the mindset as is just to keep having fun. This sport is so mentally and physically demanding, and as we all know. So changing from mindset of maybe like being so concerned about winning to like let's just enjoy the ride and the experience, and whatever happens kind of deal. I think that's kind of where our team is moving, and it's bringing us a lot. We already have Coach Cole's built a great program here, and it's a very family feel. It's one of the main reasons why I came to Cornell in the first place. But we're really moving in the direction of taking a lot of stress off and just enjoying our experience here at Cornell together and as teammates and as brothers, and we just love each other to death, and we just want to have fun, and let it leave it all out there on the mat, and the rest will take care of itself. And I think that's kind of where we're trying to move as a team right now. And you know and I think if we get that mindset as a team and move forward in that direction, I think a national title is definitely a possibility in the future.
And it's so great to hear someone talk. Hey, I like to have fun, and we stress having fun here at Cornell. I mean, it's just what a prestigious school, and academics is always at a high standard there. And I look at your poster behind you, and I remember when the Red Man came out first, and I just like, this is coming from Cornell.
Oh yeah, I know. They're creative. They're creative people here. The Red Man is cool, and like I said, it's important. It's important to have fun in the sport, especially maybe the added pressure of academics here too. So it's been great, and we're trying to move towards that direction.
Well, we've been here with national champ Gabe Dean. Just came back from his put his name in the hat for Greco in the future for Team USA. Only been trying it for 3 weeks. I gotta say that's pretty impressive to come home with the silver, and we hope best luck in the future. Maybe freestyle or Greco, but either way you'll be wrestling for USA. On behalf of everyone here at Takedown Wrestling, thank you, and good luck in the future.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. You guys always do an excellent job, and I'm just honored, to be a part of the show and to be able to talk with you and about the future of this sport and my program. So thank you very much.
Keep an eye on Gabe Dean.